All right, guys, with the next video, so let's check this. So now we've got a nice motion that we're kind of happy with, right? So now what we'll do in our reference, let's just get these arms in now, yeah? So if we come back here, if we look at our reference, the arms kind of stayed forward there. Look at the camera there, forward on the knees and then up. Okay, now we're going to use FK. We could use IK to really press on and then switch, but just for this example's sake, we'll use FK, right? So what we'll do now, remember we've got keys on every frame. So what I'll do, I get all the arm controls and I just delete all the keys except for the start. So at the start it's forward like this. So what we'll do, we'll just select the shoulders and just slowly bring them down and bring the arms down so they're near the laps. We just want to initiate. Let's just bring the arm down, the forearm as well. So bring the hand a bit as well. Oops, wrong control. That one, please. Like this. And just bring the arm up so it's not intersecting. Same thing here, we bring the hand down. And obviously we're going to exaggerate this hand. We're going to add a bit of wave effect and everything. And I noticed that they were more in as well when I was coming up in the reference. Yeah, so then you see it's intersecting here. So you just want to work through the poses and get them out. Make sure they're not intersecting. That's fine. We can always polish that later. We're just trying to get, you know what? Let me save this as well before it all crashes. Okay, so there's a bit of intersection there too, but we can sort that out because it's FK. So we'll just have the forearms up a bit. Okay. All right, now what we're going to do is at the end, we'll just put the end pose in as well, and we'll put that in now. Okay, so what we'll do, I'll just zero this out, and I'll zero this out as well, and the wrist. Basically the end frame. We want the end frame to be a bit relaxed, yeah, like this. Maybe slightly in. Shoulders are fine. Same thing, we'll just select all of these controls and zero everything out. It just makes it easier. And then we can start just rotating. So it's a relaxed pose. Yeah. Okay. There, you see that relaxed? Just goes in. All right, now what we'll do, when he comes up, let's check out the reference again. So as he comes up, okay, slightly. So we'll just exaggerate. So as he comes up here, we'll just bring the arms out just to get a bit more momentum. Let's zero this out. So there's a bit more momentum. Even have these come out a bit like that if you want. Right, now there's a bit of a push there. Don't like that. So what we'll do is select. Let's select these controls and have a look. So there's a bit of a push here. Comes out like that. So if we delete this, and let's say around 13, let's bring that back to 11. And then what we can do, we can just start playing with this. Just bring this back a bit. Bring that arms back a bit as well. So we're just kind of milking the pose before because we've selected and copied a pose a few frames before the next one. If you know what that means, you know, like we just copied this pose here to 11. Right, from here now what we can do, because it's pushed up on the other one, we can be like, all right, let's bring this back. So we'll bring it back. Bring this back as well, this arm. So we're carrying on that kind of like that, right? But that's a bit too much. So what we'll do, the good thing here is we can select this, select all those keys on the arm, the controls, and play with the timing, right? All right, from here to here, that's quite a big one, right? In fact, what we'll do, let's delete this and see how this looks. All right, so what we can do, we can, as it comes up, we can go to 36, say this frame here, 35, middle click that, bring it back to 21, and it can hit that pose quicker. So it's hit that pose, and now what we can do, the top arm will just bring it back a bit, so it's overshooting. So as you can see, it's overshooting there, right? But it's going back slowly to here. So what we can do, we can again go back. So we want to basically soften this from here. We want it to go back to the normal pose a bit quicker, but still hold. Now, the way I do that is I've got the upper control and I'll go to what? It's still moving around here, right? 40 to 45. So I'll go to 40, middle click that, bring it back to say 30. So I want to hit this end pose quicker here, but still with a little bit of a move. So if I look now, there's still a little bit of a move there, right? But it's kind of, I want it to overshoot as well. So then what I'll do, I'll have a look at the Y translation. You see how it's easing? If you want to overshoot, I'll just break these tangents. So it's individual, you know, you can see in the fundamentals how I do that. You can break it here, break tangents, and then go to weighted or non-weighted. And that gives you the option to have a bit more independence over the control. Now what I can do is there's a few ways. You can bring this keyframe down like this and overshoot like this. So this is the overshoot coming back in. Now if you look at the arm, it's going to go back and then settle. See? There's a bit of a settle there, isn't it? And now you can exaggerate that even more. Look. See, it's exaggerating even more there. And then we even bring the next one, previous one down. You could bring it back up however you like. And if you want the end to be a bit more softer, then all you do is, I'll select everything, and you could type in 50, and in the end frame, bring it to 50. And if you look now, it's a bit more softer, right? To me, that's a bit too soft. Let's go back to 45. Okay. And then you can also start working on, so basically what we can do now, if I get the wrist, delete this wrist. Yeah, that's better. And then it's just a matter of going back and forth, like I'm going straight ahead now. Let's try and sort the arm out. So I'll come here. How's this arm looking? Let's delete this forearm here and play the animation. And all right, I'll play the animation. And I'll be like, all right, I want this arm to still be up. And then I'll play it. And you see how it flips? I want that to be softer, so I'll move that keyframe to say 30. But then let's delete this actually. Let's look at the upper arm. So we're going straight ahead. The upper arm stops here. So the upper arm stops here, but it zips into that position, right? So maybe I want this a bit more down then, not too up. So it's the spacing, the amount of distance it has to travel is less, because that will make it a bit more. So if we smooth this out. So all I'm doing now, I'm just smoothing out this arm. So I'm looking at this arm. Here we can have it lower. That's not a problem. There, you see how the arm is still moving? So here you can soften this. So you go to say 42, middle click that to 34, or wherever you like. Then it's just a matter of feeling. Again, see, we come here. Let's get an overshoot. Let's try and get an overshoot here. And if we see it play, see that? There's a little bit of a softness there. That's what we're looking for. And also when it's getting up, it seems to be a bit more softer. And then the same thing with the wrist. Remember, root, middle, and then the same as the leg. Root is here, then the other joint, the other joint. And you're just going back and forth, and then you're going straight ahead. So we can literally delete all the keys here. We can be like, okay, come in here. Let's have the wrist going up a bit. So the wrist goes up slightly because there's a little bit of a drag. So, and then it might come back. And then when it comes here, it might drag a little bit more. So, and then what we can do, again, come to what? 43, middle click that to 37. And again, you see there's a slight overshoot there. Doesn't have to be too much. Just to add a bit of a movement there. Now, if we see this, you get that nice organic little bit of movement there, you see? And we can just fine tune that now that we've got it moving nicely. See there, now that we've got that moving nicely, even here we can bring this down. So we want, the illusion is we want it on the lap really. And we want the wrist kind of on there too. So it's pushing off, but we can delete that key in front. There, so we've got that, and then we can fine tune that in polishing. But you've got the arm working. And if you really want to, you come here, look at the arm, upper arm. Now, all right, let me just push it out a little bit more. Let's see how that looks. Then you just play around. And that adds a bit more momentum. And then you can bring the second one down a bit more. And then maybe the third one even more. So it's kind of, maybe we'll have it a bit more. And at the start, you might want to move this a bit down. You play around, you decide. You know. So you've got that little movement happening. And then you do the same on the other side. So we get the other arm, we'll do the other arm quickly so I can show you. But that's what you're doing. You're just, as long as the main body is animated and the mechanics are working properly, the center of gravity is working properly, then you can just work. So again, I'll come here with the upper arm first. So we're coming forward. Upper arm goes ahead. I'll just make sure, you know, we'll make it a bit different to the other one. So we're coming back and then forward and then it settles. So let's have a look at the Y again. See here? Same thing, we're just overshooting, that's all we're doing. We're just bringing it down. So if we look now, we've got that little settle happening there in the upper arm. And then we go back to the upper body, or should I say the forearm. So we're coming down here, carry that momentum. Also the wrist, maybe have it up a bit. And then we can animate the fingers there. So it's coming up. And I might just make this arm come up a bit. And then as it comes back, maybe a bit more quicker. Move this before. Okay, that's not working. So what you do, so let's have a look at this arm. This arm goes back here. So then I reckon around here. Yeah, so then it comes back, and then again, copy frame 41 to 33 or anywhere near there, because we want to get that cushion. Again, we come here, move that down, overshoot a little, see how much of the overshoot you like. That's a nice little overshoot there, right? And nice little slide off. And then what we can do is we'll get the wrist, have a look how it looks in the front as well. And then the same thing with the wrist, we come here. So it goes whoosh. And I reckon a little bit up because it's a whoosh. So a little bit as it comes in, it goes back. And then again, pick a frame 42, bring it back to 36. And then there's a little overshoot we can put in. Let's see. As much as you like, you can break the tangents as much as you like, just get a little overshoot. Just want a little bit of movement just to settle. Maybe push it a bit more. Yeah, and then maybe push it back a bit. There, you see, you got that little bit of a movement happening there, right? We should have also just done a bit on the shoulders. So what I'll do, I'll select the upper. Let me select the upper one of this right. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go onto every keyframe on the upper arm and just key each frame. Okay, so I know that on the shoulder I've got keys. And then what you want to do, you want to bring the arm forward and just bring it back, get the shoulder involved a little, not going up too much. And then back forward, and then it settles, isn't it? So you've got that movement. And then again, middle click on the shoulders too. And you can add an offshoot there as well. So it just adds a bit more light. I should have done that first, but it's okay. You can go back and track it as well. It's not a problem. Okay, that's a bit too much on the shoulder. If you look there, look at that. So let's just make that ease in a bit. Or a little bit of overshoot. That works better, isn't it? And then you can reduce this as well. You don't have to have it too much. You know, it just initiates the movement. And the same with the other side. All you do, select the upper arm control and the shoulder. Okay, let's see the shoulder. It's got a key there. We can get rid of that. And the shoulder, and just key where all the keys are on the upper arm, so you know the position of the arm. So if you come forward, okay, let's lean it forward. And even down if you want, down. And then coming up. And then back. And what we'll do, we'll delete this. And we can be like, all right, it comes down. And then back. Forward. And then settle. And then again, middle click. Move. Just play around with the keys until it feels right. And if you look here at the X, again, if you want, you can add an overshoot at the end. And just see how it looks, play it, see how it looks, see how it feels. That's a nice little settle there. Might want to just bring it in a bit. So you've got both arms kind of working too, right? So, and then because the arms happen at the same time, later on we'll just offset it so it looks different. So it's not twinning, as we say. So you've got a basic get up there from the reference. Body mechanics, everything's working properly. That's what you're trying to get. And then what we'll do now, we'll start working on the torso a little more and the fingers, and add a little bit more of that polishing. That will just bring it up a bit, little drags and all kinds of stuff. So that's the basic body mechanic of getting that from a chair. And we'll start polishing it a bit more, get a bit more oomph into the animation. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video.